The circle graph above shows how David's monthly expenses are divided. If David spends $450 per month for food, so this right over here is $450, how much does he spend per month on his car? So we need to figure out how much does he spend on his car. So I encourage you to pause this video and think about this on your own. So they're telling us that 25% of his total expenditure is $450. So we just need to figure out what 20% of his expenditure is. So there's a bunch of ways to think about this. One is you could solve for his total expenditure. So let's say that T is equal to his total monthly expenses. Total monthly expenses, then this tells us that 25% of T, or 0.25 times T, is equal to $450. And then we could solve for T. You divide both sides by 0.25, 0.25, and we're left with T is equal to, well, if you divide by 1/4, that's the same thing as multiplying by 4. It's going to be 450 times 4. Because this thing is the same thing as 1/4. Dividing by 1/4, same thing as multiplying by 4. Now 450 times 4 is going to be equal to 1,800. So that would be his total monthly expenditures. And we need to figure out what is 20% of that. So the amount that he spends on his car is going to be 0.20 times 1,800. And that's going to be equal to, let's see, 2 times 1,800 is going to be 3,600. But this is not 2 times, this is 0.2 times 1,800. So this is going to be 360. So he spends $360 per month on his car. $360. Now there's other ways we could have thought about this. We could have set up a proportion here. We could have said the 20% is to 25% as the amount he spends on his car is to the amount he spends on his food. This is the percent he spends on his car, percent on food. That ratio is the same as the actual dollars he spends on his car relative to the actual dollars he spends on his food. And so we could solve this, and actually let's simplify a little bit. Both this numerator and this denominator we could divide by 5, and we get 4% over 5%. And actually, we could multiply both of these times 100, so it just becomes 4/5. So you get 4 over 5 is equal to C over 450. Now to solve for C, we just have to multiply both sides by 450. So multiply both sides times 450, and we get his dollar expenditure on his car is equal to 450 times 4 over 5. So 450 times 4 over 5 is equal to C. Let's see, 450 divided by 5, that is 90. 90 times 4 is $360. So 360 is equal to C. So you could solve it either way, and there's probably other ways to think about it as well.